Welcome to our brief introduction into DoorCompanion, automatic door creation and production software. To begin with, I'd like to show the user how to create a door from scratch. If we come into the Create Layer window, we can see a few options available to us. The first is the door height and the door width. These can be adjusted to your standard size of door. The next is the user variables. See how height and width are user variables, so those can be called in calculations in the tables below. I can add or edit these user variables as I like, but to begin with I would like to create a new user variable called offset. I simply give the variable a name and a value, in this case 70 millimeters. Now I'd like to draw a simple square design, and to start off with I'd like to draw a line on the left, line on the top, line going down the right, and a line at the bottom. So our first starting point of our line is offset and offset. This will give us a point 70 millimeters from the side and 70 millimeters from the bottom. Our next value is offset, which will give me the distance 70 millimeters from the side, and height minus offset 70 millimeters from the top. Now, if I adjusted the size of this door to, say, for example, 1.2 meters and click draw, you see how the line has grown. However, the gap of 70 millimeters remains the same. That is parametric. I'll adjust the door back to size and draw our next line. Our next line will be offset, height minus offset, our ending point of our first line. Then it will be width minus offset, giving us 70 millimeters from the right hand side of the door, and height minus offset, still 70 millimeters from the top. I continue in this fashion until we have finished the design of this door. Width minus offset, and now we want 70 millimeters from the bottom of the door, which would be offset. Our final line would be width less offset, and offset, offset, offset. This will bring the line back to our original starting point. Now, any calculation can be used in these cells: times, multiply, divide, etc. So now that we have got the design of our door, it is time to save it. We can save it as a new layer, and I will call this demo. Okay. Now our layer is saved into our door library. Now, leaving this, we can come into our library and go into Manager. Our Manager allows us to name and adjust the layers and the different variables that we have assigned in creating the door. So, on our outside profile, once again you can adjust the standard size of your door and your outside radius. For example, the standard is 6. If I set it to 30 millimeters, you can see the change in size. The standard in South Africa is 6. Now, layer 1, I'd like to add our demo layer that we have just created, and in the drop down menu we see demo. Now, the variable that we created, offset, is available, and this is editable, so we could change this, for example, to 50 millimeters. You see when I click draw how that changes the design. This is infinitely variable and can be changed to anything you like. For the moment, let's leave it as 70 millimeters. Now, I would like to add an additional layer to this door. So I can come to layer 2 and once again select demo. This time I will make the gap 90 millimeters. And now we can see we have the two layers combined together. Once I've got the designs of my door as I would like them, it is time to give each layer a name. So for our layer 2, I'm going to call this inside profile. Our layer 1, which is the outside, will be outside profile. And I would like to give our edge layer the name of edge. This allows us, when we import the DXF files into our various software, enroute, Vectric, etc., this allows us to quickly and easily assign the toolpaths without manually having to assign each toolpath. Now I can save the door and I can call it demo door. Now this will save all the information, the variables as we have set them, as well as all the different layer names. Once the door is saved, it will be available in our drop-down menu under door name. Simply click on it and push tab, and that will bring out the quantity, the height and the width. Now I simply adjust the quantity to however many I would like, in this case 5, and move down. Now say I would like one door of 1.2 meters by 670 millimeters, and let's say 3 doors of 600 by 400, and one big door of 1.9 meters by 950 millimeters. Once done, we can export this to a DXF file, which can then be imported into any number of CAM softwares. To do that, simply click export and export door list. Now it will ask you for a batch name or number or a job name, whatever you like. In this case, I will call it demo job. Once done, simply press OK, and you will get a confirmation that your doors have been exported to vectors. From this point, you can simply load those into your CAM software, add the toolpaths as you desire, and begin to machine. If I would like to create some labels for this door, for this job, I simply enter a job number, say for example 1, a customer name, demo, and an invoice number or a miscellaneous field are also available. Now, to print the labels, we first have to set up our label setup. Click on Tools, Label Setup, and this will allow you to adjust the settings for your labels. Most often labels are printed with an A4 printer with the labels that peel off the A4 size sheet. This allows you to adjust all the values according to the sheets that are available to you. Once you have got it ready, you can update the label setup. For the purposes of this demonstration, I will print the labels to a DXF file, and it's as simple as clicking export and print labels, and we can call these demo labels. Now, here is an example of the labels with the date, the customer name, job number, invoice number, and any miscellaneous field that you may have. It will also show the type of door, the size, as well as the number of, in this case 1 of 5 all the way to 5 of 5, etc., etc. Finally, this file may be saved. We can save this door list to use it at any other stage and load it obviously. To get us back to a clear screen, we simply clear the door list. Now, that was a very basic door which I showed you. I'd like to show you the abilities to create quite a bit more complicated doors. Click on Library, Manager, come to Layer 1, and we will select the car design of door. See, you have multiple variables on this door. You can adjust the offset, the radius, or the size of the circle. So for example, if we make the radius 60, you can see it brings it in, and we could adjust this to 20. It makes the circles quite a bit bigger. So once you have your settings for this correct and are happy with them, move on to layer 2. Now you can scroll through a list of all the different layers to decide which would be the best for your application. In this case, I know which one would work nicely, and that would be the scallop layer. Now the scallop layer is put it directly on top of the car layer, so you cannot see it, but once we increase the offset by 20 millimeters, that'll become clear. Now you can see the radius on the outside is 40 and on the inside is also 40, which doesn't look quite right. So I will adjust the radius to 30 millimeters, draw, and that looks a much better fit. We can continue in this fashion. Come and select another scallop and make this one 110 and adjust our radius to 20. And we can do it finally again. A maximum of 4 layers combined together can be used. In this case 130, and we will change the radius to 10. Maybe make that 15. Okay, once we are happy with our door design, we can simply give each layer a name. So we could say, for ease of use, number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1. Obviously you could use the tool name for each individual layer that you would use on your CNC machine. The outside profile, we can make that an edge, and we can save the entire door. Save door, and we call this a car. Okay, door saved. Now as soon as that's done, you can return back to your main screen. Car will be available, and you can parametrically scale as many doors or as few as you like and export them. To get rid of a door, it is easy enough. Come back into Manager, select for example our demo door test that we just did. See how it's brought in all the various settings, and we simply click Remove Door. Are you sure? Yes. So that was a basic guide into the usage of DoorCompanion door creation software. More detailed guides will be available shortly.